I've also got $50 from Deflancel. Love the DKC game series and love GDQ. Glad to donate for this great cause while finding out some cool skips. I never knew about those. Looking forward to the Lost World run of DKC 3. Keep up the good work. And that's right, everyone. We are about halfway through the Donkey Kong Country Classic block. Next up, we have got Donkey Kong Country 3, followed by a Lost World run of it. Once again, if you donate a minimum of $5 throughout any part of this Donkey Kong Country block, then you are entered into a raffle for the On Guard Perler. I've got $50 from Trumpet M Cool 187. Donkey Kong hype! I love games done quick. I've been streaming Donkey Kong Country, and to see it done in 35 minutes is crazy. Congrats, guys. How about $30 from Sweens S? Love watching every year, guys. Keep up the great work, and let's get people medical care all around the world. But first, save the animals. $50 from Steve Smells. Always happy to donate to GDQ. Such a great cause. Keep up the good work and kill those animals. $50 from T of J. After this marathon, I'm motivated to start speedrunning once more. I hope to eventually do runs for future GDQs to come. We look forward to your work. How about $30 donated anonymously? And it says, "Rest in peace, Satoru Iwata. Thanks for being who you became, for all gamers everywhere. For young players, classic games are brand new. For older players, they bring back memories and make you feel good. Mr. Iwata." $50 from CJ Sting. Great DKC race. I started watching speedruns on YouTube this past year. I'm glad I can catch SGDQ live. Thanks for supporting such awesome charities. Save them animals. $20 from Jackal. Very excited to finally catch a live GDQ. The talent, generosity, and good humor of everyone involved is a real inspiration to me and makes me proud to hold a shared passion for video games with all of you. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Jackal. And $50 donated anonymously. Glad I could catch the stream in time to make a donation this year. Just sucks that I can't make most of the streams. Putting this towards that awesome Chrono Trigger 100% anyway, just in the hope that Spike the Cheetah is going to be there blessing us all with his sweet fro. Do what I can.
That better? Oh, that's better. Yeah, I can hear it now.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can. Wait, what?
Is that good?
You don't mind?
This should be okay.
Is that all right?
All right.
And with that, let's go ahead and
Did I just lose the game audio?
Tech and Supreme for this run of Donkey Kong Country 3.
Sounds like my audio just cut out. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right. All right. I'm all set up. What was the winning file name?
Oh, that's my job, isn't it? All right. Getting back in the swing of things. All right, Donkey Kong Country 3 file name. That is the thing. That is going to be Iwata. The winner with $1,188.75.
Thank you guys so much. Let's see if I remember my alphabet. Seems to be a struggle right now. All right. I'm all good to go. Everybody good to go? All right, I'll give you a countdown and start on go. 3, 2, 1, go. So real quick, before I start talking about the game, we've got a real quick skip here when we get to Wrinkly Kong. As soon as the music cuts out, you can hold left and B, and you can skip that little intro cutscene and saving the game and all that stuff. It's real nice for when you like to reset a bunch like me. So this game came out on the SNES originally, very end of the life cycle. The N64 had actually come out by then, which is why sometimes if you're in the save cave, you can see Wrinkly actually playing Mario 64. One of the last games, I'm actually playing it on the Wii VC, which is a little bit faster. Yes, I'm a V cheater. And on top of that, I'm also playing it on Japanese, which is actually faster due to loading screens. It came out in Japan after the US. So if you're familiar with Donkey Kong Country 2 speedruns, you're going to see a lot of the same kind of stuff in the first 2 worlds. Every level of the first 2 worlds, except for the bosses, have warp barrels that take you straight to the end. Not very exciting, but in my opinion, some of these levels are some of the more tedious ones, so it's I'm more than happy to skip them. There's another category called Warpless that my friend Overfiend here behind me runs. It's about, I think it's about 8-9 minutes.
Yeah,
slower.
if you execute the first 2 worlds well, it should only be about 8 minutes slower than with warps.
The world record in this game is 49:30 by a Japanese runner by the name of Kazunoko. Those of you in the fighting game community, that is not the same Kazunoko. It's actually a different person. So you saw me do the water bounce there. That seems to be something people are impressed by. It's actually an intended game mechanic that you do just by pressing B right about the moment you hit the water.
It's pretty generous, though. I think it's about 7 frames.
So you saw me at the first few levels. I started out by rolling twice. I'm actually jumping here, and that's a little bit faster on the ice mechanics, or with ice-based levels, because of how the mechanics work. It's quicker to do a short hop.
Minor quirk about that stage is you gotta scroll the camera a little further to the right to make sure that when you team throw up, you actually get into the warp barrel.
A lot of SNES games treat objects that are off the screen as though they don't exist.
And that definitely becomes apparent in one of the auto-scrollers that you can actually go out of bounds on, but do nothing with, because the final flag is not loaded. So this is first boss, Belcha. Pretty straightforward. You can actually, if you throw a beetle into its mouth as it hits the ground from a jump, you can actually cause Belcha's mouth to fly off, and it will not finish. You have to actually restart the fight.
That's a 1-frame trick.
Yeah, it's a 1-frame trick that is really sad. So there's World 1. Pretty straightforward. Spike, World 2 is more the same warping, so you want to go ahead for the next couple of levels and do some donations?
Absolutely. I've got $50 from Unnintendo. Iwata for all the file names. I don't think we could quite do that with all you. Okay, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Remember, save the kill, frame the animals. That's what it said. Save the kill, frame the animals. We'll get it. Okay, cool. It's a good start. All right, we got $50 from IGB. Awesome games, awesome people playing them. Keep up the great work. Greetings from Spain. $20 from Princess Marshmallow. I had to rush home from work to make it in time to watch some Sonic get played, and I'm happy that I made it in. Big the Cat is my senpai. Good luck to all of the runners, and here's hoping you raise all of the money for Doctors Without Borders. How about $150 from Talia? So I made a big mistake. A new raid tier came out in an MMO I play, and I may have promised to donate $50 for every boss I haven't beaten every day for the duration of SGDQ. So I am currently 1 for 4. Here is $150 to the runner's choice. Why did I do this?
Runner's choice. Does Striker have a song in this marathon? I don't actually know all the incentives.
Striker in the house? We'll figure that out later.
Okay.
Got $100 from Bubble Base. I'll take a double, triple Balti Deluxe on a raft, 4x4, animal style, extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze, light axle grease, make it cry, burn it and let it swim. Got $50 from Lofty. Hey guys, I found out about you guys this time last year. Love what you do and the good of your cause. Here's to everyone in England staying up for this.
All right, World 2 boss time. I'm going to let Overfiend handle bosses. I like to focus, especially on this one.
Sure, so the main thing happening here is he's going to team up throw. On the last 2 hits in particular, it skips him getting into position to spit goo everywhere across the screen. It skips that part of the fight so that he can freely throw barrels into his head. And
All right.
clean execution.
Well done. That's actually it's pretty frustrating to learn how to get that timing on those throwing up while falling down. Now for the most difficult part of the game, controlling the boats. I wish I was kidding, The hovercraft in particular is a pesky vehicle. And here, Funky's just going to talk to us for a while. So, yeah, the DKC3 community is a little bit smaller than the other two. We have some dedicated runners. I'm glad a lot of you were able to make it this time. Morks, who did the run at HDQ, could not be here, as well as Nocturne, who's also a really good runner. And then we actually have, I believe a good buddy of mine, Nirvana, is helping with the Spanish restream over at Speedruns Espanol, so thank you for helping out as well from afar. Oh, yep, there we go. Well, that wasn't too bad. Hovercraft is a little bit tricky to control. But here we go, no more warps, so let's go. Spike, this is what this level actually is supposed to look like. If you've ever watched Spike Vegeta's streams, he'll occasionally do runs of every DKC game in Donkey Kong Land as well. And for whatever reason, he has this warped cart that the owls in the background don't spawn.
First time I played it, so none of those were shooting you. I was just like, this level's really boring. Just kind of walking on the platforms, going across.
So a lot of people ask me, why are you using Kitty? Isn't Dixie faster? Well, for the most of the point, there's really no point in switching. Kitty's really not any slower. Dixie just has better advantages like hovering, and she climbs up ropes faster. And since there's no ropes to really jump up, or there's only those few that I just passed, it really doesn't benefit to swap because the swap animation is pretty slow in this game.
Yeah, and when you start to speedrun this game, you actually start to realize how useful Kitty can actually be.
Yeah, a lot of people rank him below Donkey. I think Donkey's a little less useful than Kitty because he can't pick up Diddy.
And as a result of both Kongs moving at the same speed, getting hit is a little bit less punishing, as opposed to 1 and 2, where you want to have Diddy in the lead most of the time because he's just faster.
So what you just saw was the first example of damage boosting. That's probably the biggest thing that happens in this game. There's a lot of damage boosting because a lot of levels are vertical as opposed to just being flat horizontal levels. Speaking of flat horizontal levels, here's the first of 2 auto-scrollers in a row. It's not quite sure why they went that direction. Fortunately, this one's not too long.
It's a little more interesting in 103% because there's 6 bear coins that you need to get for the route for the bear coins. You need 55 to finish the game in 103.
But yeah, there's actually even a little bit of speed tech to help speed these up. If you're familiar with DKC2 speedruns, in some of the minecarts level, or I guess they're really roller coaster levels in that game, you actually jump up slopes, or sometimes you jump up and down slopes. And this level's the same thing. You jump up slopes and it helps speed you up just a little bit. And you're noticing I jumped over the Kiddy Kong barrel there, and I didn't get that one there, and that's intentional. It doesn't really benefit me to have him. There's no benefit other than safety in this level and the next level. And he actually, not having him speeds up the 4th level of this world a good bit. So we do not bother picking him up again. We're going to let him chill in his barrel for a bit. Poor Kitty gets the shaft a lot, because a lot of it's not Kitty is slower, it's having 2 Kongs is slower. But usually you have Dixie in front, and you're just like, all right, Kitty, we'll see you later, man.
It's because Kiddy Kong is fat.
Yeah, poor Kitty. He'll work it out. I mean, if he's related to Chunky, then he'll sort it out. He'll grow into his frame.
With that, I have got a $50 donation donated anonymously. Amazing job as usual, guys. My money goes to the Legend of Zelda Swordless incentive. Using swords is so mainstream. How about $50 from Apples179? Hey everyone, Apples here. Second GDQ live witnessed and second time donating this time, over double what I donated last time. Worth donating for a great cause. Good luck to all the runners. Thank you, Apples. $30 from Commander Bistro. Hello from Scotland. Love the Twitch and gamer communities coming together to something outright epic. Have a fantastic time all, and announcer's choice for what to put this towards. Cheers. I've got $500 from Chris L. And his message is very simple. Great people doing great things for a great cause. What isn't great about this? Can't argue with that. I've got $50 from D Generator. Donkey Kong Country 3 is one of my favorite underrated Super Nintendo games, so seeing all these level skips for the first time is an eye-opening experience. Good luck to Supreme and $50 towards seeing another favorite SNES game in a new light, Buster Percent in Mega Man X2.
So I'm going to break in there real quick. If you saw, I kind of passed that Donkey Kong barrel, and I kind of looked back at it. If you climb up this level fast enough, as Raikou mentioned earlier about items off screen, you can actually get past that barrel, which normally breaks if you touch it automatically, like you don't even have to pick it up. But if you get to it before it spawns, you can actually run right past it, which helps us keep our goal of not getting kitty. And with that, we're done with the auto-scroller alley there, and we can get back to some fun platforming. So I mentioned in the first auto-scroller that I don't want kitty for this level, and the reason is these barrels here, every time you have both Kongs, it's at least half of a second lost per barrel because you have to load both sprites into the barrel. And so if you have a level with 10, 11 barrels, that half a second now becomes, you save 5 seconds overall, and that's pretty important.
And that functions differently from DKC2.
A fun thing you can do there, and by fun I mean that very sarcastically, is you can actually clip behind that bazooka guy that was guarding the spider barrel and fall right into it. I actually did that in practice this morning, and I was super paranoid about that, so I took it a little safe.
We actually have to do that in 103 in order to get one of the bonus stages.
Some minor things we're seeing here are, if you move fast enough, actually, you can get an early cycle of that, but he took it safe. It's understandable. And you saw him before when he was moving up out of the barrel, hit the wall so that he would land on the platform above a little faster than if he just went up the entire duration of the shot.
It also has the same benefit of I don't hit that DK barrel, that would break.
Yeah.
That last roll looks scary, but it's free if you just go fast.
All right, so now it's time for the anti-speed level. This is Logi Labyrinth. As you can see there, I'm moving at about half speed. I jump higher, but I jump really, really slowly. Fortunately, you're only the Kongs for about half this level, and then you become Quox the purple parrot, who apparently is actually a different bird than Squawks. He's not just purple Squawks.
It is actually useful, unlike in DKC2.
Now we're just doing some slow-mo platforming while we work our way towards the bird, who's actually a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, you'll see here in a particular stage later just what you can do with the bird's compressed hitbox.
I'm grabbing that just as a safety in case if I get hit early, this level becomes a lot more risky. That hit was intentional. Unlike DKC2 where you maintain your Kong order, so no matter what happens, if you enter the animal barrel with Diddy, you would end with Diddy. The Kong order stays the same. Like if you get hit, you become Kitty. And if you don't, or it just depends on who goes in, does not mean that's who you get out. So we do that so Kitty is actually the front Kong unless I get hit. It's a little bit faster to have Kitty in the front at the end. Ooh, I don't usually hit that guy, but that's fine. This area, as long as I take it a little carefully, I'll be fine. I'm just going to wait this out. You can get through under that B, but if you go slow or if you bonk a corner, you are going to get hit. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Okay then. Well, that's a good thing I grabbed that halfway point. So having Kitty at that point is beneficial because you can just damage boost off of the bees, like I apparently attempted to do, and then you can use Dixie's invincibility frames to fly through the rest of them. Fortunately now Dixie's in the front, and I really, really, really do not want to get hit because it is quite slow to go through it with Kitty. You see, if I position myself, which I'm not doing a good job of right now, this should be good.
Yes.
You can actually slide through the bees. That's probably going to get hit. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to waste a lot of time trying to set that up. Ooh, the bees are not in the same cycle. All right, let's just float here at the bottom. Not waste any more time. So unfortunately, I am now stuck with Kitty. I hit the corner, so I should probably wait it out. This level is deceptively difficult. I mean, what I did there was I just didn't jump. I tried to jump too late. But it's actually a little bit deceptively difficult, especially learning how to get in between those sets of bees and not die.
That and just getting used to the physics.
All right, so I'm going to need to do some quick swapping here. This boss, we actually found some tech from the Japanese runners that we normally don't get to see if they're on Nico or something. I'm actually going to switch to Dixie here for a damage boost. And then the other quick tech is if you get rid of the last text box as he hits the ground, then he actually doesn't do the scene where he just kind of stands around. But if you ever played this game, usually the blades spawn on the opposite side of you. If you stand in a specific spot, I'm not going to attempt it here because it's a little tighter. He can actually spawn them on the same side. Now what I'm going to attempt to do is a quick damage boost. I did not get it. I was about a pixel off there on when I jumped. And that saves about 10 to 15 seconds. Uh-oh. Okay, that's fine.
This fight used to be completely different until the strats changed. We actually used to run the US version, and this is the only game I know of where the version of the game we run depends on the category you use. For the any percent and any percent worthless categories, we run J, but for 103% and Lost World, or as it's called, Water Percent in the community, we use the US version, and the strat for this fight is completely different.
There's actually a glitch where you can take Kitty, jump up, and you can do the team throw. You can team throw Dixie infinitely, or almost infinitely if you time it well. And you would think that would make this faster, and it does make this particular fight faster, but unfortunately the loading in Japanese is so much better that it doesn't matter. It's actually faster to do the version without the glitch.
100%'s faster in a US for other reasons, though, mostly towards the end of the game.
Alright, so that was World 3. The ending was a little rough, but not bad.
Got through it, that's all that matters.
So now we're moving on to World 4, or people casually call this World 3. It's really, I don't know, just follow the guide, whatever it says World 3 is. But it's the water world. I can believe it being World 3 because I find it to be a little bit easier than Mechanos, the world I just completed.
Cotton Top Cove is actually listed before Mechanos in the official player's guide for this game. That's why a lot of people call this World 3.
Well, that makes it, I mean, like I said, it's definitely easier, and because I said that, I'm probably just jinxed myself. I'm going to die like 5 times. But this level is about fitting into little tight windows like you'll see right here under the
Nice.
Baza. Kitty has some pretty big hitboxes. It's a little bit safer with Dixie, but it's not worth the time to swap. Plus, you need Kitty in front for the first part of the next level. And then manipulating the camera to get enemies to spawn at different times. Wow, I actually got under him. That was tight.
You have to let the surface push you up there, because if you're even a pixel above the surface, you'll take a hit.
That's exactly right. And then one thing people talk about in this game is that the swimming mechanics are actually a lot different. You're a lot floatier. If you just your base button press, it's usually going to go a lot higher. And there I did camera manipulation. Those bosses above me would have spawned, and I would have had to sit and wait for them to pass before I could go down. But by actually holding down plus the swim button, which is B, you can just simply swim kind of similar to how you do in 1 and 2. It kind of is a similar mechanic. All right, so this level is a lot of damage boosting. These rocket barrels that I'm about to jump into, they move pretty slow. They go very high. But with some well-timed damage boost, you can actually skip several barrels, which saves a few seconds.
I think this is one of the coolest looking levels in the game.
The waterfall levels just in general look really nice and have some pretty good music.
Shout out to Cascade Capers.
All right, so right here, lose Kitty, and we need Dixie to go to this one because she needs to hover to it. Let me just kind of go about for a bit. It's not really that scary. This level has some pretty sparse enemy placement. Now there's some faster strats. I could roll into this guy to jump into the barrel, but you also run the risk of if you time your jump too late, you fall down the waterfall, which loses way more time than you gain from simply rolling into him. So right here, another damage boost. It's a lot of tricky platforming, and sometimes you have to wait for the rocket to go up twice. So it's really beneficial to just be able to get that extra jump and jump into barrels or spin into barrels. Here, if I do this right, I will not take damage right here. Nice. And you'll take damage here, which is it's not really any faster, but you want a solo Kong, in this case Dixie, for the next level. And the reason is that there's a lot of moving pieces. This game, as it came towards the end of the SNES life cycle, tried to push it to its limits in terms of putting things on the screen and moving elements. And so you got water, you got that piranha down there, you got the Kremlings, and then you're going to have these nice red barrels here. And having both Kongs really can lag up the game and mess up your rhythm. So we can conveniently dump Kitty at the end of that last level. Yeah, I can play it safe there. And that way you don't have to worry about any lag, or much less lag. There's a little bit, but it's barely noticeable at the end of the level.
We timed this a while ago, and it saved something like 4 or 5 seconds in just lag alone. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, this one section coming up with 2 barrels and 2 bees.
So you may probably not see the lag there. I slowed down just a little bit. Alright, so the next level actually has some cool tech, some of which I will do, some of which is like the previous waterfall level. You either get it or you fall down the waterfall and either die or lose a bunch of time.
The through and 2? 2
Yes.
shots, yeah.
Shoutouts to the Claude.
Yes, Claude recently found a setup that helps at the end of the level, and he also found some of the tech that I will not be doing. It turns out that right here at the end of this row, you can actually do a well-timed jump and never get in this barrel. You can just glide over the bee. It's very close. If you mess it up, you're going to hit the bee or you're going to fall down the waterfall. Either way, you're pretty much dead. There's Ellie. See Ellie.
We only get her in 100%.
I warp past the first 2 instances of Ellie in Worlds 1 and 2. I don't bother getting her here, and the only time I use her in this run is for the World 4 boss.
It's worth noting that on J, that B cycle is actually, at least in my experience, a lot easier to deal with to get through.
Yes,
into
the previous B cycle, not that one, is actually a lot easier in Japanese. All right, that's this new tech found by the Claude. Just roll off there and you skip using that barrel altogether. So thank you for that. And it's actually very convenient. For the first level of World 5 is another one of those levels where you have a lot of barrels that shoot you and you lose time by having Kitty. And it just so happens that the next boss after this level does not give you a Kong. So you can just go the next few levels without Kitty. I mean, it's a little riskier because you can't take any damage, but overall it's a good bit faster.
There's other reasons why you want Dixie in the lead starting World 5, and it'll become apparent once he gets there.
So this is our fish friend. He does not subscribe to the theory that fish are friends, not food. He'll eat anything in sight, including those urchins. So if he eats a fish, he becomes happier. If he eats an urchin, he starts to change color and will hurt you. And he'll also change color over time. I'm grabbing this fish just as a safety, even though he's nice and happy right now. So here we go, another barrel, another chance to say goodbye to Kitty. You see there, now he's kind of depressed looking and he's kind of a purplish blue.
He turns from blue to purple to red to orange, and when he turns orange, he chomps on a Kong.
Okay, I'm going to make sure I clear that urchin. Here we go. Oh, okay, it's fine, that's fine. He kind of resets himself after he gets a color, or he eats an urchin, so I am all set. Just don't run into anything. So now he's kind of a reddish color. We're just going to hope that he doesn't turn red or dark red or orangish color. Another Kitty barrel skip, and there we go. That level catches up a lot of people. I mean, it's just at this point, it's just learning a route, making sure he's properly fed. His AI is sometimes really frustrating in that he'll not eat a fish he intends to, or you intend him to, or he will eat an urchin you think that he's going to miss. So he can be a little irritating. This boss is pretty free. That being said, I have died to him in other marathons I've done before, so let's hope I don't do that.
Conveniently, you'll notice that when you enter the stage, you aren't given a DK barrel.
There we go.
Compared to other bosses.
We line this up with Ellie's trunk on the waterfall, I believe.
Yes, if you have Ellie's trunk on the waterfall, you can actually speed it up just a little bit by hitting that back eye first. I don't like that. Okay, cool. And so you can speed it up a little bit by hitting that back eye first as it's bringing its eyes out of the waterfall. Just another little time saver. It's not anything major. Nice. So if you can actually grab that and fall down the pit, it doesn't kill you, but all it does is it gives you the item, and for whatever reason you have about a 5-second wait before the screen fades out. It's like trying to determine if you won or if you died, I guess.
It might be like sending you to the bottom of that screen, I guess.
Yeah.
Possibly.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
So here we go. We're ditching our hovercraft in favor of a more powerful boat and a much easier to steer one, in my opinion.
Yo, I got $30 from Cujo. I guess it's true what they say. Nintendo is what Genesis isn't.
Ooh.
Sure. And he says, keep up the good work, Supreme.
Thank you, thank you. So this level is pretty scary to get used to without Kitty. That barrel's kind of hard to jump over. I did a little twirl to make sure I didn't actually land on it. So now we're traversing this without Kitty, and Raikou alluded to it earlier. Dixie is much faster at jumping up like these horizontal ropes than Kitty is, and that saves a lot of time. Coming up, you can actually just kind of go up in a straight line and just run up past these guys. It's pretty dangerous, and if you mess up your kind of rhythm for tapping and jumping up, you're as good as dead. So in the name of living, instead of saving like half a second, we're going to go for that.
Yeah, missing jump inputs is deadly.
Absolutely, especially considering that you're trying to press the button on the same, well, not the same frame, but the frame after you grab the rope, whereas Kitty has to wait quite a bit before being able to jump. He has to finish his rope grabbing animation where you can jump with Dixie on the frame after you touch the rope.
All right, we did it. We did not die.
That
That's
level
good.
looks so cool if it's done right.
Thank you. So here we have our second toboggan level of the run. I'm guessing this is because of ice-based mechanics. I'm not 100% sure, but you actually want to not only jump up slopes, but you want to jump down slopes as well. You'll see that we avoided getting the barrel there. It just wastes a little time to jump, especially right after the halfway point. There's a barrel that's directly in your path. So this beetle coming up here, let's hope I don't do anything dumb. Cool. If you jump on him, you have just a handful of frames to jump again or go careening into the pit.
I think it's 3.
That sounds about right, yeah. So that beetle is very bad. He's not your friend, and if I jumped on him, you would have heard the frantic mashing of the B button.
There's an interesting, useless, not glitch, but oversight in this level. That with a clever damage boost off the B before the sled, and jumping in between the B and the sled, you can actually skip the sled and run through this level as the Kongs.
So the damage boost I just took there was intentional, and that's because you want Kitty in the front for the next level, and his swapping animation is really slow, so it's better to actually take damage and get another barrel than it is to watch him pick up Dixie and place him behind her, or him. This level, I kept saying the practice room has the biggest, what I would call spaghetti potential. It can go really well, or I won't die, but it'll just look really sloppy. And that's because we're going to use the team throw mechanic to throw Dixie up ledges. And that saves a good chunk of time in this level. I think you skip about half of the level by doing that. And that's just another advantage of the levels being a little more cleverly designed and being vertical instead of just, flat for the most part in other games. Here we go again. Nice.
I'll donate $20 if you get BDB skip first try.
Does that count? Why am I not going to the barrel? Okay, let's take it normally.
Good luck.
I'm gonna wait for the next one. So that was not the worst thing that could have happened. I'm gonna have to go up again. Oh, no. Oh, these barrels come a lot faster the more you do it. Well, there you go. You save your 20 bucks.
This is a really hard trick. This is one of the hardest tricks in the game.
If you mess up the timing, like the thing that really hurt me there was not getting into that barrel down there first. There we go.
There you go.
The thing that really messed me up was not getting into that barrel below me, the one that shoots you up, because the timing starts to change a little bit. So if I had gotten it right the first time, the barrels would still have a pretty large gap between them, and it would be easier to throw. But unfortunately, I had to throw at least twice, and it just kind of messed up my rhythm.
That level's even more of a nightmare in 100%, where you have to do a frame-perfect barrel drop to get the DK coin.
Not sure why I thought I needed to get that barrel. So this level has probably some of the greatest potential for death. It's not as difficult as Web Woods, but it's not easy because you do a lot of this on your own as one Kong.
I feel this is the most technical level in the game.
So right here, intentional damage boost. Right here, didn't die. Good news. You have to get these platforms like right in the center of them. You will not get hit. Gonna do a damage boost here, hopefully. Nice.
The squitter damage boost and jumping in midair works exactly the same as it does in DKC2.
We're gonna land in the middle again. Take one more intentional damage, and if you remember what I said earlier, Kong order is maintained. I'm gonna need to make another one. There we go. So I should, if I did this right, have Dixie Kong. Let's kill this guy just to be safe. This part's kind of scary, and nice.
Nicely done.
Ooh, I even get the web. I even get the web. So getting that web to spawn in that spot, if you hold Y, which is the run button, normally you'll pick up the barrel that spawns there. But if you have that web in the right spot, you can actually just hold Y and just continue going fast. This level, I'm definitely playing a little safe. They're called Limegorns. They're penguins.
Worst hitboxes in the game.
Worst hitboxes in the game. There is so much potential for you to just die and not understand what happened. If you hit their feet, you're dead. If you hit their nose, they're dead. But if you hit their underbellies while they're coming out of a hole, you're fine. It's a pain in the butt.
If you have Kitty in the stage, it generates a lot of lag, especially towards the end. It's even worse than in 4.3, I believe.
Yes. That is why we don't bother getting the Dixie or the DK barrel that's near the end of Crack Shot Croc, the level I just finished.
It does make the end of this level extremely scary, though.
Well, fortunately, right before the end, in the really dangerous part, there is a very nicely placed DK barrel. You lose just a little bit of time due to lag, but it's worth it to avoid the risk of dying in a marathon. This next boss and I don't get along. He's one of the few sources of RNG in this game, like serious RNG, and his hitbox is also really dumb. Really dumb.
I don't get along with this guy either.
Oh, there we go.
If he spawns in the lower left, it's impossible to hit him.
Yep, you see it kind of, really? Come on, buddy.
Yeah, you have to be further left than you think you would need to be before firing the snowball at him.
But yeah, if you see the little marker here, if he ends up kind of right where that dot is now, you can't hit him. You just have to play out the cycle. And it's really not even advisable to get near him because you have a pretty high chance of getting hit. This is one of the sources of this is one of the places where I lose a lot of frustrating time because there's really not that much RNG in this game, and this fight is one of them. Let's see, what's he gonna do? Ooh, nice.
Nicely done.
If he can go just from side to side, and there's no way you can catch up to him because he throws those two fast snowballs. So it's easy for him to just bounce from side to side, and you can waste 10, 15 seconds of him just being a jerk. Which has happened before, and it made me very sad. All right, nice. That wasn't too bad.
Good fight.
Thank you. By clapping, maybe he'll be nicer to me more often in my actual runs because he is a real jerk sometimes.
This is where the game starts to get really hard.
Yeah, World 5, it's kind of like DKC 1 where World 4 kind of ramps up the difficulty and then 5 and 6 ramp up even more so. It's kind of the same thing. World 5 is where it starts to get a little more difficult, and it really ramps up in these two worlds, starting off as this level where you have to be the purple parrot the entire time.
You can actually skip that first B.
Yeah, it's not a big time save, and you have a much higher chance of getting hit, so I found that it's really not worth it, at least yet. If I was going for a low 49 or even a 48, that would be something I would do. But here, you can actually just kind of get into the wall a little bit and skip past the B. That damage boost is intentional because those copters are moving very slowly, and I don't like dealing with them.
Pretty obvious Rare didn't exactly test this level that well. You can just fly around everything.
Well, that's all right. This is apparently the most well-coded game Rare ever made because everything else is usually really buggy, and this is actually pretty solid.
There are glitches in this game. They're just not useful in speedrunning.
All right, another B we just passed right through. The next one is actually pretty difficult because you don't have the wall starts at the Bs, so you have to position yourself pretty well.
Nice.
Beautifully done.
Nice job.
So if you accidentally get hit by that copter, there's actually an invisible barrel at the bottom of that stack of bananas.
Really, I never knew that.
Yeah, I had to do that during practice today because I messed up my Kong order. You can bounce on that guy's head. I kind of forgot.
Great level.
Thank you. So, you know, loading is faster in Japanese. I mentioned this earlier, but for whatever reason, the Bear Brothers, I can just sit here, take a breather for about like 3 seconds. Just kind of sit here for a bit. I don't know why. I don't know why that's slower in Japanese, but apparently it's something important to say that he wanted to make sure I read. All right, so this is our final auto-scroller of the run. It's, I don't know if it's longer than Ripsaw. I think it's longer than Ripsaw.
It is.
I think so.
Fortunately, it has some of the best music in the game, but for now, it's mostly just memorizing the enemy patterns, and I'm going to let you take it away, Spike.
Okay. We got $100 from Micah. Greetings from Hawaii. Hyped for DKC3 getting wrecked. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you, Micah. $50 from Ben M. Glad to finally be able to donate. Pretty bummed I missed Trihex start things off, but I had to work to afford this donation. Good luck, runners. And is that Spika here on the mic? You know it. I've got $100 from Kaio. Looking forward to another awesome... I'm going to assume you meant SGDQ. Good luck to all the runners. Donation can go towards Announcer's Choice. P.S. Hi, Skype group. Hello, Skype group. We got $50 from Dusk253. First time watching GDQ live and first time donator. First speedrun I watched was Runner Guy's OT run on YouTube, and have since watched every GDQ video on YouTube. That's a lot of hours. All right. So glad to get the chance to watch it live this time. Got $50 from Toy L Joe. What a great cause to donate dollar signs. It's our second year. My son Jesse, friend Thomas, and I are watching Donkey Kong 3 in awe of how fast you can get through this game. Thank you. And I got $30 from Ian159. Been watching SGDQ for 3 years, and it's one of my favorite events of the year. Good luck to all the runners. Thank you all very much for your generous donations.
Yeah, this stage is about 130 seconds long, I think I timed it to be, and it's probably one of the more infamous, perhaps the most infamous auto-scroller within the DKC community.
The stage is very, very hard casually. I remember my first time through the game. I went through dozens of lives trying to learn all the patterns. They get really hard to
And
read.
here's this guy trying to trick me here, mixing it up. The one thing I did forget to mention is that this is actually a level where it's important to be Dixie and not because of the advantage is her size. The hitboxes are representative of their actual size, and if you're Kitty, it's a lot harder, and I'm not going to say impossible because I've done this level with solo Kitty. It's really hard to do with Kitty without getting hit. I guess it's like solo Kitty. Kitty was in front the whole time. This level is the demonstration of why poor Eason got the short end of the stick on guard. He is pretty OP in this game. When he's in his lunging animation, the only thing that can damage him are the green urchins that I'm about to come up on right here, and only if their shell is fully closed.
And there'll be some waves of them throughout the stage that you won't really be able to see Supreme do, but he'll do a quick up input on the D-pad, back to down, and for whatever reason that makes it very unlikely for them to actually damage him.
So I'm going to let go of the D-pad here for a brief second. I actually snuck through him because I hit let go for a little too long. But I let go just ever so briefly, like less than a second, and I can just damage him. If you come at him full speed, you will take damage, at least from that set.
There's, I think, 3 specific sets that you take damage from if you go full speed. You just let go of the D-pad for about 15 frames. This was a strat that was independently developed by a number of runners, including myself.
Ooh.
Ouch.
That's fine. Just take these guys slow because they're the last set. Unfortunately, that gives me Kitty Kong. So another one of those fun, in quotes, glitches. If you actually turn right too fast, you'll go up the reef, and you will still lose on guard. And when you lose on guard, as you just saw, I float up in the water a little bit, right into an urchin. And if you have one Kong, you're dead.
You can roll off the edge in this next stage, if you didn't know. Onto the box.
Yes, I just got to delay my roll a second.
Yeah. Wasn't
Save
sure if you-
frames.
So one of the used to be thought to be task only, but turns out to be RTA viable tricks is called a 2-1 jump. It's similar to something in DKC2. And you can actually store a jump as you pair up, and then jump again, and it's a really high jump. You can use it to actually skip squawks and save a little bit of time, but it's one of those tricks that if you don't get it like first try, you're really not saving a whole lot of time. So it's really not implemented by anybody yet.
Is it frame perfect?
2 frame perfect tricks in the same.
Oh,
Again?
so it's double frame perfect.
Yep. Okay, so now I'm just going to hover up here because that's weird. All right, now we're just going to let Big Fish here go. The enemy names in this game crack me up. The big round robin is actually called Booty Bird. I think that's called, I don't forget what the fish is called. It's like bounty fish or
Bounty
something.
bass.
Bounty bass, that's right. All right, let's see how many tries this jump takes. Oh,
Nice.
first try. Cool.
That's actually a really annoying jump. It doesn't look hard, but
And if you miss it, then you lose a few seconds every time you fail it. All right, not bad.
thankfully we don't have to do that jump in 100% because we need Ellie for a bonus.
So this next level is one of my favorites in the game. It's got good music, fun strats.
There's a damage boost coming up that saves a huge amount of time.
Very, very valuable damage boost, because if you fail it, now you're down a Kong and you have to navigate rope sections with Kitty. So we're going to start with a spin here. We're going to jump right into this B. If I did it right,
Beautiful.
I got this bad habit of doing an extra jump at the top.
I want to say that saves 15 seconds.
It's 10 to 15, somewhere in that range. So now we're going solo Dixie. That's all right, because she climbs faster. Claude actually has a new strat that I haven't just implemented yet because he found it a little bit before SGDQ, where you actually keep Kitty, where I damage boosted or just intentionally lost him, so I didn't have to swap. But he actually swaps, and he then swaps back at this boss to do a slightly faster Barbo strat that gets you solo Dixie for the next level. So I'm doing a little prayer here. I'm gonna swag out here for once and try and do the optimal boss strat here. If I mess it up, I'm either going to do a really funky looking recovery or I'm pretty much dead.
Good luck.
Thank you. So he gave me some good RNG here. The farther away from the shell it is, the earlier you can hit the shell and have it reflect. All right, so the optimal strat here, right about here. Nice. All right, got the first part. Perfect.
Nicely done. That
All
is
right.
almost pixel perfect. Supreme OP.
I did not get that once in practice, so awesome. Ooh, well, oh well. That's fine.
Still a fantastic boss fight.
We'll just say I was practicing Claude's strat, but did it wrong.
Coming up is World Please.
So, when people tell me that they don't like DKC3 in my chat, which happens fairly often, give it another chance, guys, please. The gimmicks of the levels are cited as a big reason why, and this world is gimmick central.
These levels are so hard.
So the first one up is a pretty simple gimmick. The ropes are actually conveyor belts. We're not going to swap right now. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a damage boost. Toss Kitty, just kind of glide through this section. The thing I'm nervous about is if you don't get off the ropes fast enough, you can run into bees sometimes. There we go, not bad.
Again, missing a jump input can be deadly.
So we're going to grab this as a safety. That's one that's fortunately really not out of the way. I normally, if I'm doing my spins and jumps as I practice them, I normally don't jump into that, but it's not a big deal to jump into it. All right, so we're going to grab Kitty here.
He just dodged a bonus barrel, by the way.
Yeah, if you casually play this game, you almost always jump into that bonus barrel on accident. So I'm swapping here for the first time and intentionally in a while to quickly get through this section. And not only that, but it sets me up for the next level, in which is another level where Kitty is slowing me down.
So, RNG Caverns.
RNG Caverns. So my PB in this game is a 5109, really close to a 50. I'd like a 50, you know, all that good stuff. So I have a good run. It's definitely on solid 50 pace. And then I get here, and I promptly lose 25 seconds to Ghost Barrel RNG. Fortunately, that one came pretty quick, but the ghost barrels spawn in different directions. Oh, I got that one first try. Nice. And you can be waiting a while for ghost barrels to appear in the direction you need to.
You can gain or lose 30 seconds in this level based on RNG alone. It's obnoxious.
Let's see. Okay, so I might be waiting here a while. Yep. Nice. You can actually glide between this bee and the barrel. I'm going to play it safe because you can either hit the bee or you can land in the barrel, which then causes you to hit the bee. And it's right before the halfway point, which is like usually the most brutal place to die other than right at the end. All right. All right.
Now, if you think the RNG for the ghost barrels is bad in this category, in 103 there is a bonus stage that has pretty much the entire bonus stage is based around collecting stars while blasting out of a white barrel, and you can lose so much time in it.
So right there I kind of stutter-stepped because I didn't want to deal with that third green barrel. It can really slow you down a lot. So there you can kind of see the difference of not having Kitty versus having Kitty. You have to sit there and wait for him to load into the barrel. Oh, no, I should have. Oh, well. So I'm going to kind of cheat here. Okay. Okay, so now I know it's going to be here.
You can crash the game in this level.
So we damage boost. You can see the iframes actually last longer than the flash. So I was like Kitty, fully done. You know, not flashing anymore, and I still got through it. All right, guys.
Used Thunderbolt.
I'm
it's super effective.
I'm gonna try and be quiet here. I really would like to focus and not die here.
This might be the most obnoxious level in any percent.
Bad lightning. I'm not dead. I'm not dead.
Being slow is okay in this level. All we want is alive.
It's gonna spawn right over. Yep, right over the halfway point.
I've had so many runs where I've rolled into the midway barrel and then got hit by the lightning, and it's like,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was waiting to happen. All right, so we're gonna hang out here. Okay. Nice. Good
you have to
spawn.
be really careful there, because if you just dive into the water, sometimes the lightning can be in a place where once you've already committed to it, there's nothing you can do about it, and you'll just take a hit.
Also, this is for you, Nocturne. The lightning is not RNG. It is position-based. It's very similar in concept to Blackout Basement. The lightning's going to strike every so often, and I believe, I have not confirmed myself, but every third strike, I want to say, is going to be directly on top of where the game believes you're going to be standing. Other strikes you can usually run past. Deathless. That's
Nice
for you,
job.
Morks, if you're watching. That's for you, buddy.
Nice job.
Yeah, that stage is all about knowing just how your positioning affects the lightning. It takes quite a bit of grinding to really understand what the lightning can and can't do based on your positioning. And
This level's scary, too.
Yeah, this level, when you're learning the game, you're going to take lightning look at a little slow. This level, you're going to think you can take fast, and you can't. And the reason why is those coin dozers, if you do not land directly on top of them, if you're looking to land on them, you will clip into them, and you will bounce off of them, and you will probably be knocked into a pit.
They have really wonky hitboxes. There's one in particular that's so obnoxious.
This guy's
This
a little
one,
scary.
that one's obnoxious.
Boom. Oop. Well, no, I'm just going to take it slow. All right, there we go.
You can make those jumps without stopping, but it's really hard.
It's hard, and I wasn't thinking. Didn't have my game face on. Oh well.
Poisonous pipeline. Your
So-
left and right controls are reversed in this
Yeah.
stage.
So many people in my stream go, "Well, you said this is Gimmick World. What's the problem? What's the problem here?" Like you said, your left and right is reversed.
Even if they weren't reversed, the stage would still be hard.
Yeah. There's actually they step up the enemy count here a good bit. Plus, the one thing a lot of people don't know, and I'll get to here in a moment, is there's actually our fish friend on guard. And you get to him right here, and it's hard to not take a hit. Nice.
You don't have to do that in 103. You get him in a bonus. Thank goodness.
Alright. Take that a little safe. You can kind of get under that urchin, or lurchin they're called, and hit them, but I usually get hit, so I don't bother doing it.
No, midway point, you're braver than I am.
YOLO swag, man. This level really shows your mastery of the swim mechanics. And that should be good.
Nice.
Oh, I'm going to get hit. No, I didn't get hit. Wow. I was not mashing fast enough. I thought I was pretty much done. All right. You can get between those guys with Dixie and then just swap at the end. It saves just a little bit of time, but
Great job.
it's easier just to go through it.
Great job. That level's so hard.
And here we go, guys. Final boss.
This final boss is probably the hardest final boss fight in the series in terms of speed tech. This boss has so much speed tech.
This boss is actually, unlike DKC 1 and 2, he's not pretty much just a pattern-based boss. Also, shoutouts to Claude for this little time save. If I wait until this guy's fully in his casing there, he should stop short. Yep, and now the barrel spawns on the same side as me, which makes that a little bit quicker because normally you have to wait for the rockets to stop shooting and then go under him when his flame comes back up. But there goes Chaos.
You can do that team throw from the other side just fine.
Yes, but it's a second slower. The going to the left side was something Claude found just a couple of days ago.
Oh, it's that recent.
Yeah, he's been putting a lot of time into this game, so thank you, Claude, for all you've been doing. It's doing a good job of strengthening the community and optimizing the game. So this boss, for all you guys that have casually played this game, you can walk right under that first hit. You can't do it for the second hit, but hopefully that doesn't matter, because what I'm going to hopefully do here is when he lands on the ground, pull the switch, get under him. Oh, not fast enough. If you're fast enough, you can pick up the barrel and hit him. It saves about 4 to 5 seconds, I believe, because his timing or his bouncing is not based off timing. It's based off of how many times does he hit the wall, and so he gets that really quick wall hit right away.
Now the fight gets interesting.
That was bad. We're gonna go over him. Okay, that's fine. If I had grabbed the switch at the right time, I could have just run on the ground and been a little bit faster. Fortunately, he came at me first, which meant it didn't really matter that much.
This next jump is really tight.
Yeah, I actually got hit for the first time in a while today during practice. That should be good. Yeah,
Nice.
we're good. All right, again, we're going to walk right under him.
His finger hitting the remote button gives good visual cue. Is a good visual cue.
If you lose Dixie in this fight, you're sunk.
Yeah, it becomes a lot slower.
Not just slower, but much harder.
Which, speaking of, this part is probably the hardest part in terms of not losing Dixie. Wow, that was very, very close. Oop. Oh, that was slow. Oh well. Lose a little bit of time waiting for that lightning cycle.
Also, time is when he grabs the bonus coin.
Yes, so time is coming up very shortly. And time. Enjoy your Donkey Kong lore. Our characters actually talk. Something about having a dream about bananas, and then you become a power-crazed madman. And then they're commending Dixie. All that kind of good stuff. I'm going to check my in-game time real quick, and that starts once this cutscene ends. Talking about, oh, Cranky would be impressed, right? He'd be happy. Yeah, we did a good job. Like, Donkey's talking just looks so funny to me. Diddy's got his little hand motions going.
You don't want to wait for it after the 10 minutes of the credits?
No, I don't want to watch the 10 minutes of credits.
Yo, I got a $500 donation from Kevin3. And Kevin says, hiya, speedrunners. I love these events and love watching these speed runs. I missed out on donating on the previous GDQ, so I hope to make up for that with this donation. Well, you did. Thanks a ton for putting this together. Thank you.
Credits are 10 minutes, so like Overfiend said.
Well, we would reset anyway to finish the game in 103.
So what was my time?
53:20.
Not bad.
Not bad. Given that World 3, that's not surprising. All right, so that's DKC3 any percent. Up next is my buddy Raikou here with what we call it water percent. It's basically playing through the Lost World. And yeah, thank you guys again.
And once again, while we set up for the fourth and final run of our Donkey Kong Country block, once again, if you donate a minimum of $5 during any of these runs, which you only got about 20 minutes left, then you are in the drawing for the On Guard Perler.